Hello, all you coin aficionados out there, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. And today we have the weirdest, or one of the weirdest coin stories in history, and that is the story of the 1967 New Zealand 2-cent mule. And so you're saying to yourself, well, why are you showing us the Bahama Islands 5-cent coin from 1966? Well, it turns out that this 5-cent coin is a major part of the New Zealand 2-cent mule from 1967 story. They were both coins were made, both the New Zealand 2-cent and the Bahama Island 5-cent were made by the Royal Mint in London. This, as you can see, it says Elizabeth II, Bahama Island. But what the Royal Mint did on the New Zealand coins was to print the Bahama Islands front, 5-cent front, on top of a New Zealand 2-cent back. So let's go into what happened here. And you can see that obviously I just stuck these two together. But the Royal Mint didn't. They actually printed this front here from the Bahama 5-cent coin. This is the 1966. This is the coin that they printed the front of onto this coin here. So instead of it saying New Zealand like it should have here, this is the bronze coin, this is a nickel coin. Instead of saying New Zealand like it should have here, it said Bahama Islands, and it had this image instead of this one. And so it was just the weirdest thing. Well, what happened was New Zealand in 1967 decided to go to decimalization of their currency. In other words, to make all of their coins a percentage of the New Zealand dollar. So they wanted the Bahamas had just done that the year before, in 1966. So they said to the Royal Mint, "Can you make us some of these dollars?" And the Royal Mint said, "Of course. How many do you want?" Not some of these dollars, some of these 2-cent coins. And the Royal Mint said, "How many do you want?" And New Zealand said, "We want to have 75 million of these." The Royal Mint, in making the 75 million, went through everything they needed to. They shipped them out to New Zealand. And then the day of decimalization, when the coins started coming out, the mint, the Reserve Bank and the Mint in New Zealand started getting these calls. And the calls said, "We don't know what's going on, but you just gave us a Bahama coin with the New Zealand back." And they got 4 of those calls the first day, and they said, "Yeah, that's bull. These people are making stuff up." But then the calls continued to come in. So on July 10th, 1967, they figured out that there was something really, really wrong. And they called up the Royal Mint, and the Royal Mint said, I don't know how this could have happened, but we think there may be up to 100,000 of them out there with this front on the New Zealand with this back. And so they said, the Royal Mint said, "We'll do whatever we can to help. But we don't know how to help. We don't know how you're supposed to do it." And they said, "The only way we can think of for you to cull them out is to either throw away the whole 75 million or have somebody sit down, or a group of people sit down and individually go through them." And that's what happened in New Zealand. They actually hired people to go through the 75 million coins that had come from the Royal Mint. Um, and not all of them had gotten there yet, so they probably did maybe somewhere around a million. And when they did the first million, the first 600,000 had 60,000 of the mule coins. And they had one other issue that they could not resolve and never did resolve, and that was that the Wellington Mint had released some of these coins already, and people had them, and they didn't want to give them back. So we know that of this mule 2-cent coin, there may be 50,000. That's an estimate that were actually given out and were used for currency or kept by collectors or people. that thought it might be worth a lot of money. So in 1967, the first shot at decimalization in New Zealand was an amazing uh, failure. The Royal Mint, I don't know that they'd ever done anything like this before. They put one country's front on another country's back. And so if you want to take a look at these coins, I will leave a the Reserve Bank Museum of New Zealand's webpage on there, and you can look at there. And they actually have a picture of the coin front and back. And I'll also leave a Numista website there, so you can look at the picture of the front and back of that also. Now, let's get to this actual coin. This is the real 1967 coin, which doesn't have the Bahamas front on it, and it's a bronze coin. It is it's a bronze coin, and it is just in great shape in terms of for bronze. It's a little beat up, but and then on the back we have the two flowers on the back, the cowhide flowers, and the value over here is the 2. So this coin is not worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. It's just worth 50 to 75 cents. But the 1967 New Zealand 2-cent story is worth millions, just because it's such a priceless story. The idea that you could put this front on this coin and not notice it and send it out. All right, that's all we have today from the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel, and if you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section.